Hi, I'm Rick Fussell, and welcome back to the Ingrain Workshop. In today's video, we're going to be doing a project for the supervisor. The supervisor likes to take long baths, probably 30 minutes to an hour, because of the ambiance. Now, I had to look that up in the dictionary, and definitely don't ask me how to spell it. But in the bathroom, around the bathtub, she surrounds herself with these candles for this so-called ambiance. So I thought today would be a good way to make a project for her and build some tea candle holders that we can sit around the bathtub when she takes her 30-minute, hour-long bath. So that's what's up next here at the Ingrain Workshop. So we're going to be making these candle holders out of just some pine. This is actually some 2x4s that I've glued up, and I've went ahead and milled them down so that they're 2 inches square. And the next thing we're going to do is here at the miter saw, we're just going to cut one length at 6 inches and then another length at 5 inches. So the next thing we're going to do is drill the hole for the tea candle. And what I've done is I've just taken our 2-inch stock, came over here to the drill press. I've set up my fence and my stops. So it's going to drill a 1.5-inch hole in the middle of the 2-inch stock with an 1.5-inch Forstner bit. I got the depth set to 7/16 of an inch because I do want the tea candle to just sit up slightly. That way you can get it in and out easily. And then that's the next thing we're going to do is cut our tea candle holes in all our 2-inch stock. I have to admit that dust hose looks a lot like a largemouth bass sucking down some shiners, which is my definition of ambiance. And there we have our 1.5-inch hole for our tea candle, drilled down 9/16 of an inch. Okay, so now that we have all the tea candle holders drilled into our blanks, now's the time that we can really get creative. So what I've done is I've sketched out a yin and yang symbol, a cross, a heart, and then just some circles. And I'll zoom in and let you see the different designs, but these are things that I just, for the most part, free-handed. I suppose you could go on the internet and download maybe a template or picture of a heart, cross, or yin-yang symbol and cut them out. Now on this particular one, I went ahead and just drilled some 1.5-inch holes with my Forstner bit all the way through, all the way down, and you can see the candle sits inside. Again, just to give it a different effect. This one is the heart, and so while I still had the 1.5-inch Forstner bit and my drill press, I went ahead and drilled out both sides of the heart, and then I'll cut out the remainder of the heart over at the bandsaw. And then I'm going to take the cross and cut it out at my miter saw, and then I'll cut out the yin-yang symbol with the bandsaw. So let me go ahead and cut out these symbols. That'll be the next thing we do. Let's start with the heart over at the bandsaw, and we'll go ahead and get that cut out. To cut out the blank with the cross in it, we moved over to the miter saw. I've got a setup block that's 1 inch and then an 1/8 inch, and that's what I'm going to set the depth of my miter cut, and that's what I'm going to use to cut the, I guess, the cross brace of the cross, and then I'll adjust the depth and then just basically trench out the vertical portion of the cross, and then that I'll do the same thing with the other side of the blank. So I have the circle design, which I did just cut out at the drill press with a 1/2 inch Forstner bit. Then I've got the heart design, which I did the same thing. I cut out the circles of the heart with the 1/2 inch Forstner bit, and then I came back on the bandsaw and cut the remainder of the heart out. And that's what makes it much easier, having two separate pieces of 2-inch stock, and then you can glue them together. And then the next thing I cut out was the cross design. And again, it's just easier to cut it out separated. And then we'll glue them together next. And then the third design was a yin and yang design, where you've got one positive and one negative. So I just cut out the negative and left the positive. And that's it. Those are the 4 designs that I'm going to go with right now. Just be creative with it. You can take and come up with any design that you like, or that's with that's with your taste. But just have fun with it. Be creative. But they're very easy to build. So the next step we're going to do is glue these together, let them set overnight, then we'll come back and sand everything. So I don't want to bore you with a lot of sanding, but I did start here at the belt sander with 80 grit, then swapped out to 120 grit belt, and then sanded them down at 180 and 220 with the random orbital sander. So a pro tip, if you don't have a isolating sander, you can take a dial and cut a slit in the dial, and then insert some sandpaper, chuck it up in a drill, and use that to sand the radiuses on the inside of your design. It's just a just a pro tip if you don't have an isolating sander. Next, I'm going to take a small block of wood and some sandpaper and just go around and knock off all the edges, and just put just a little chamfer on the edges just to soften them up a bit. So with the sanding complete, it was time to start with our finish. Now, the supervisor wanted a country distressed look, and I wanted just a stained candle holder, but these were for her, so I decided to do the country distressed. Let me know in the comments what you prefer better, the stained or country distressed. So to do the country distressed, you first just paint them with flat black paint and let that dry and set up, and then come back and spray them with white paint, let that dry and set up, and then come back and then just hit them with a sander to give them that distressed look. And that's strictly personal preference as far as how much you want to distress it or not. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided to make another heart candle holder and just stain that with some early American, or I'm sorry, I think it was special walnut stain, and present that to the supervisor. Needless to say, she shot it down. Probably could have seen that coming, but as usual, I have to try. So, but again, leave a comment below and let me know what finish you prefer. Thanks. So with the black paint dry, now I'm just coming back with a white and just painting them all white, and then I'll scuff them down to give them the distressed look. And with that, my work is done. Well, that's a wrap for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please consider giving it a like. If you like DIY projects and woodworking projects, and you're new to the channel, then please consider subscribing to the channel and select that notification bell. That way you'll be notified of all our upcoming videos. And a big shout out to all our existing subscribers. Your support's greatly appreciated. Again, I hope this gives you some ideas on gifts for your mother, your significant other, or a daughter. It's something that you can make yourself. It's very easy. You can personalize it. And it's something that they'll cherish forever because you made it. But if not, I will leave a link in our video description below to where you can purchase these through our Etsy store. Again, this is Rick with the Ingrain Workshop. We'll see you next time and have a wonderful day.